Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. Today we're playing with cotton. I am going to show you how to make this ripple, well, it's a ripple hand towel, but I'm also going to show you how to make the washcloth as well. And the reason I'm showing you how to make the washcloth as well is because it took 2 skeins of, and actually this hand towel I made with what is the name of that yarn? Good Lord. Hang on, let me grab one. Creme de la Creme. So I used 2 of these. Creme de la Creme. This is, depending on where you get it from, it's either Coates and Clark or it is labeled under the red heart label. So Creme de la Creme, that's what I used for this. But I like the variegated look in it. But if you guys remember, I also made this candy corn one in more of a self-striping yarn. Actually, it was variegated too, but it had more of a striping look to it. So I wanted to try this with self-striping cotton. So I grabbed my Premier Home cotton, and this is the self-striping yarn. This is the color Rainbow Stripe, and I wanted to try it because I think the chevron effect of the towel will come out better with the self-striping, but of course you can use variegated if you like the way this looks. You can use solid. You could use 3 different colors of solids, 2 different colors of solids, and just alternate so that it gives you the striping effect. But yeah, this is just, it's a hand towel. This is larger than what I normally do my hand towels. My hand towels are usually more narrow, but because it has the chevron effect, when it hangs, it actually will hang more like an actual dish towel. It hangs ruffled, or not ruffled, pleated almost. And I'm going to show you guys how to make this towel. It was very easy. I worked on this yesterday and I actually wrote the pattern out yesterday while we were in the car taking my niece back to college. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually just doing the same pattern and ending it at a certain point will give you a hand towel or a washcloth. And so I'm going to show you how to do the stitches to make the chevron. And then I'm going to show you how to do the top to make it a hand towel. And I'm going to tell you at what point you should end it to make it a washcloth. So let's get started. The hand towel is larger than my normal hand towels, and I do have a tutorial for that. I will put that in the description box below. My normal hand towels only take 1 skein of yarn. So if you do that tutorial, you only need 1, but this takes more because I needed a wider base to make the chevron. So this actually takes 2 balls of the Premier Home Cotton or 2 balls of the sugar and cream, peaches and cream. So it takes 2 of the small balls of cotton. Probably one of the big ones from Bernat, which I also have in my shelf behind me. Hang on. Yeah, if you have Bernat Handicrafter and the big 5-ounce balls, one of these will do. But if you have the smaller little, how many ounces is this? Less than 2-ounce balls, you're going to need 2. So between 4 and 5 ounces, just to be safe. I actually think it's only going to take about 3 ounces of yarn. So if you have a 3-ounce ball somewhere, I mean, that should work. You can also do the topper a totally different color. So when you do the decreases here, you could like just do a white topper if you wanted, or just a pink topper, or whatever color topper you wanted. You can do that as well. So there's lots of options to make this towel completely your own, or washcloth if you only want to make the washcloth. All right, so to get started, I have my pattern I wrote in my book right there. So I'm going to be trying to follow along with my notes. Keep in mind, I may fumble a little bit in this pattern because I wrote this down in the car. I designed this in the car. And so these are car notes. These are not exact. I sat down and really thought about it while I was doing it. So hopefully we get through this with no problem. But like with all of our Cinnamon Stitches tutorials, mistakes are okay. We don't strive for perfection on this channel. We don't, I am using a H hook or a 5mm hook. And the reason I'm using an H or a 5mm hook is because that's what I like with this. Premier Home Cotton is thinner than a lot of other cottons. And so with this one, I believe I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. And see how there's lots of spaces. I kind of want this one to be a little bit tighter. This is also another reason why I don't necessarily... I'm knocking stuff over. I hit my lotion, which hit my light. This is why I don't necessarily give you guys hook sizes in a lot of these things, because it doesn't matter if it's a ½ inch bigger or a ½ inch smaller. The hook size is not going to matter. What is going to matter here, and actually you could probably go with a smaller hook than 5.5 or 5 millimeter hook, depending on how thin your yarn is. We're going to make a slip knot. And I always show you guys how to make a slip knot in case you are brand new and don't have no idea how to crochet. You take your yarn and you cross it over like it's an awareness ribbon. You have the short tail on the back. You go through, grab a loop, pull it up, and pull it tight. That's your slip knot. We are going to chain 32 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Actually, I think that number is 33, not 32 plus 3. So 33, we're going to pinch that one. When we hit 33, we're going to chain 3 more. And in that one we're pinching, which is the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to put a double crochet. And then we are going to put 2 more double crochets. And now we are going to do our increase. So we're going to start off, we have the chain 3 here that acts as a double crochet. And what we're going to do in the beginning and the end of each row is we're going to use these ends as a decrease. So there should be, we're going to ignore the chain 3 right now, even though yes, it is a stitch. And we should have 3 double crochets. And then we are going to increase. So we're going to put 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So 2 in this stitch and then 2 in the next stitch. And the way that these peaks are going to go is it's going to be 3 double crochet, 2 increases, 3 double crochet, 2 decreases. So we're going to do 3 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, I'm off camera, 2, 3. So this is the downside of the little mountain peak. So we have 3 double crochet going up and 2 increased stitches. So there's 4 double crochets there. 3 coming down the peak. And now we're in the valley. So we're going to do 2 decreases. So we're going to do 2 double crochets together. And to do that, you're going to wrap the yarn. You're going to go in this stitch, the very next stitch. You're going to halfway do the double crochet and leave the other half on the stitch. Wrap it and go into the next stitch. Pull up a loop. Pull off 2 loops. There should be 3 loops on your hook, and pull off all 3. So that's 2 double crochets together. That's how you do that. So I'll show you again because we need to do it again in the next stitch. You're gonna yarn over or wrap the yarn around your hook. Go into the next stitch. Pull up a loop. Pull off 2, and then wrap. Go into the next stitch. Pull up a loop. Pull off 2 and pull off 3. So that's 2 double crochet 2 togethers. Okay. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets going back up the peak. 1, 2, 3. Now this is going to be the top of our mountain. So we're going to put 2 increases. So we're going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch. That's our increase. And then we're going to go in the next one and put 2 more double crochets in that stitch. 2 double crochets. And then now we're going to go back down the side of the peak. Go back down the mountain. We're going to put 3 double crochets. Because like I said, the sides of our mountains are all 3 double crochets. 3 going up and 3 going down. 2, 3. I apologize for the background noise. The little man is here. Do your math, Lucas.
It's loading.
Okay. All right, so now we're back at the bottom. So we're going to do our decreases. So that is 2 double crochets together, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 3, and then we're going to do that one more time because we need 2 decreases in the valley. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 3. So that's our valley. Now we're going to go back up the next mountain. We're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, whoops, and 3. Now we're at the top of our mountain, so we're going to do 2 increases, which is 2 double crochet in the same stitch, and then 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Now we're going to go back down the mountain. We're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And to make it even, we're going to put another one in that last stitch, because that is what we have over here with our chain 3 where we turned. Now, the beginning and end of every row will start and end with a decrease, because that is a valley. We're starting in a valley, we're ending in a valley. And at the peaks, we're going to put 2 double crochet in 2 of the top stitches. And then at the bottom of the valley, we are going to put 2 decrease stitches. So 2 double crochets together. Okay, so that's what forms the peaks and the valleys. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And because we're in a valley, we're at the end of the row, we're at the beginning of the next row, we are going to do a decrease. So we're going to do 2 double crochet together at the beginning, and every row is going to be exactly like this row. Yarn over, go into that same very first double crochet of the row. Pull up, take off 2 stitches, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2, and pull off 3. That is our valley decrease at the beginning of the row. And going up the mountain, you should have 1, 2, and 3 double crochets going up. 1, 2, 3 up the mountain. Now we're at the peak. See, this is an increase stitch, so it's almost like a V right there. And there's another increase stitch here. So these 2 stitches, the second stitch of the V here is going to be an increase. So we're going to put 2 double crochet in that stitch. 1 and 2. And then the first stitch of this V, so that very next stitch, we're going to put 2 more double crochet in that same stitch. And that is going to be the peak of the mountain. And every row is going to be exactly like this. Now, that's the top of our mountain. Now we're going to go back down the mountain, which means there's going to be 3 double crochet down the mountain. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're in the valley. Because we're in the valley, and see, this is what, if you stretch these apart, this is what the decrease stitch looks like. So that's 2 double crochets together. That's what that looks like, that and that. It almost reminds me of those really big, tall robot things from Star Wars. I don't remember what they're called. Do you remember what those are called?
BB-8, R2-D2.
No, the big, tall machines that walk like this.
C-3PO.
No, not even close.
Oh my God.
All right, so we're gonna do a decrease at the bottom. We're gonna wrap and go into this one and pull off 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next one, which is the top of this decrease row, this decrease stitch. Yarn over, pull off 2, pull off 3. All right, we're gonna do the same thing in the next 2 stitches. We're gonna yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, take off 2, take off 3, and that is the bottom. That is the bottom of the valley. So those are our 2 decrease stitches. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets back up the mountain. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're at the top of the mountain. There's the V-stitch thing. Well, it's not a V-stitch, but it looks like a V to me. And we're at that second one, we're going to put 2 double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochet again in the same stitch. That's our increase. And we're going to do 3 double crochets down the mountain. And 3. So now we're in the valley, and we are going to do 2 decreases, but you already know how to do a decrease because I already showed you. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, go to the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 3, and we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, pull up, pull off 2, yarn over, pull up, pull off 2, pull off 3. That's our 2 decrease stitches. Now we're going back up the mountain, so guess what? 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to say this. With this pattern, I make lots and lots of mistakes with where I'll miss a stitch somewhere and I have to come in and I have to fudge it. If you have to fudge it, it's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. Just as long as you have 3 double crochets in between your peaks and valleys, 3 here, 2 decreases, 3 here, 2 increases, 3 here. If you have to add in a stitch somewhere to fudge it, it will work out in the end, I promise. So this is what it's looking like so far. We just finished the top of our peak. We're going back down the mountain. So we're going to put 3, 1, 2, 3, down the mountain. And now we have these last 2 stitches, so we're going to decrease those. So we're going to do 2 double crochet together. We're going to chain 1 and turn.
70?
Yes, so this is what it should look like. Right now, this is our little piece, and it's going to continue like this all the way up. So we are going to start and end every row, you guessed it, with a decrease. So yarn over, go on that very first decrease, pull up a loop, pull off 2, go into the next stitch, yarn over, wrap the yarn, pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 3. That's what it will look like. And then we should have 3 double crochets going up the mountain. 2, 3. And then you see there's our increase right here. So at that second stitch of this increase, we're going to increase again. So we're going to, top of the mountain, we're going to put 2 double crochets in this stitch. Here's the second increase, 2 double crochets in that stitch. And then we're going to go back down the mountain with 3 double crochets. Now we're in the valley, so we're going to do 2 decreases. Again, here's what our decreases look like. So the stitch before the decrease and the decrease, we're going to do 2 together. And this decrease and the stitch after that, we're going to do 2 together. So you guys already know how to do the decrease. I'm going to do 2 double crochets together. And then 2 double crochets together in the next 2 stitches. And then we should have 3 double crochets back up the mountain. 1, 2, 3. We're at the top of the mountain, so we're going to do 2 increases. Two double crochets in each one of those stitches. And then 3 back down the mountain. Now we're in the valley. 2 decreases. Oops, I got tangled. So we did our 2 valleys, and we're going to go 3 double crochet back up the mountain 2, 3, oops, 3 double crochet up the mountain. I'm going to put 2 increases because we're at the top of the mountain. So 2 double crochet in this stitch, 2 double crochet in this stitch. Then we're going to go 3 double crochet back down the mountain. Lucas, can you go get me a glass of water with a little bit of ice in it, please?
Alright.
Thank you. Then we're at the bottom, and we are going to do a decrease. Wait a minute. Yeah. Ooh. Do a decrease, 2 double crochet together, chain 1 and turn. Every row is going to be exactly like that last row that I just showed you. Decrease at the beginning, 3 double crochets up the mountain, 2 increases, 3 double crochet down the mountain, 2 decreases, 3 up, 2 increases, 3 down, 2 decreases, 3 up, 2 decreases, 3 down, 1 decrease at the end. I am going to show you one final row, and then I am going to give you some dimensions on how to make the washcloth. And yeah, so I'll show you this row, and then we'll talk about how many rows you need to go. And I will, of course, let you guys work on your own because you're smart enough to do this. But right now I'm going to take a drink of water, so hang on one second. I'm going to pause in case you wanted to know a little sidetrack information. I have paused several times to stop and do other things in just these 3 little rows. We're also working on laundry, but that's all right. All right, so we're going to start every row with a decrease. So we're going to yarn over, go in that very first decrease stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2, yarn over, go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 3. 3 double crochet up the mountain. 1, 2, 3. When we get to the top of the mountain, we're going to put an increase of 2 double crochets in that stitch and 2 double crochets in this stitch. Then we're going to go 3 double crochets down the mountain. And then we're going to do our decreases at the bottom of the valley. 2 double crochet together. You guys should have this by now. If not, you can rewind and watch it as many times as you need. There's no shame in that if you don't understand. Then we're going to go 3 double crochet back up the peak. 2, 3. Now we're at the top of that peak. See our 2 increases. We're going to put 2 double crochet in this stitch and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to go 3 double crochet down the mountain. I need to make a note in my booklet because I changed the pattern at one point and it just occurred to me I didn't write it down. Gonna decrease in the valley, decrease in the valley. I'm gonna go 3 double crochet up the mountain. 3. We're at the top. So we're going to do an increase of 2 double crochet in those 2 stitches. Then we're going to go 3 double crochet back down the mountain. We're at the end of the row, so we are going to do a decrease in the bottom of the valley. You're going to do this. We're going to chain 1, we're going to turn. If you want to make this a washcloth, let me count my rows. What you want to do is do this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I did about 15 rows of the chevron, okay? And to make sure that the chevron is a square washcloth, which is what we want. When you get to around 15, if you fold it in half at the diagonal, it should look kind of like this. It's not an exact square because it's obviously a chevron, so you don't have flat edges. And it should be almost to where you can fold it in half and it's even. So if you're doing a square washcloth, you can use the same trick. You fold it in half on the diagonal, and if it looks like a perfect triangle where there's not a bunch of gap here, then it's a square. And what I did when I was done, because when we're doing the dish towel, our first row is a little bit tighter because that's the chains, so it wants to fold in on itself a little bit. And so instead of wrestling with that, what I did is I did a row of single crochets across the top, and I did not do increases and decreases. I just did single crochets in every stitch across. And then I did double crochet or single crochets across the top, single crochets along the side, and then I did single crochets across the bottom in the same fashion. And what it does is it pulls that row flatter, and because we're not increasing and decreasing, it makes the top and the bottom look the same. So it has the same amount of pull in, but the single crochets help it to not want to roll over on itself like this wants to do. See this? So that is how you can make a washcloth. Okay. And the size is going to vary by the size of your hook. It's okay. Like, it doesn't have to measure a certain size. This is what my washcloth looks like. And if we're going to make the dish towel, we just keep on going, doing the same chevron pattern until you reach a length of the towel that you want. Now mine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's about 23 rows of the chevron repeat that we just did, okay? So 23 rows. It can be more, it can be less, depending on how long you want your towel. Just eyeball it. And these do stretch out with you, so this will actually get longer. So I suggest making it slightly shorter than what you think you want it to be, because it will stretch downward, because that's the nature of cotton. And keep going till it's the length that you want. And I am going to come back and I am going to show you how to do the top of this. I'm not going to make a full towel for this tutorial because you can see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to come back and actually right now I'm going to show you, we're going to pretend that this is 23, 25 rows, whatever we want. And I'm going to show you how to fix this to make it gather in at the top to make it a dish towel. All right. This part is, it's going to seem a little complicated. But what we're going to do to try to get this a little bit flatter is we're going to fill in the stitches with different stitches. So at the top parts here, we're going to put single crochets, and then we're going to build up half double crochets and double crochets so that this is a little more flatter. So when you get to the end of your dish towel, this is not for the washcloth, this part is for the top of the dish towel. Okay, this part. We are going to, and I have to turn my book because I had to write this down. We are going to start, because this is a peak, we are going to put a double crochet in the very first stitch. Okay, and then we're going to put a half double crochet, and then 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 half doubles, 6 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to try to write down these numbers for you. See how it's starting to flatten out right here? I am either going to put the written directions for these numbers in the description box below, or I will put it in the Facebook group because I know that this is complicated to follow along. And so I'm going to put my notes in somewhere. I'm going to do just a very simplistic pattern. So we got our 6 single crochets. We're going to put a half double crochet.
8. Wait, that is 8.
2 double crochet.
10.
A half double. 6 singles. 5 and 6. Then we're going to do 2 half doubles and 2 doubles. Okay, so now what you should have is more of a flat top here, right? Now we just took the chevron and we made it flat. This next row we're going to do decreases all the way across. We're going to do 2 half double crochets all the way across. I'm going to show you in case you don't know how to do 2 half double crochets together. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go in this first one, and then we're going to just go into that second one. Okay, and pull through all 4 loops. I'm going to show you again. Yarn over, go through the next stitch, and then go through the next stitch again. And you're going to pull through all 4 loops. And look at that, we have a wonderful knot. Yarn over, go through the next one, go through the next one. So you have 4 loops, pull through all. Now there are different ways to do 2 half doubles together, but this is the way I do it. I like the way it looks better. Yarn over, pull up, pull off all 4. I just think it fills in the stitch nicely without, you know, extra. Do this all the way across, just 2 half doubles together. Yarn over, pull up, go on the next, pull up. It's almost like you're doing a half double with a single together. All the way across the row. Pull through all 4. Do the last 2 stitches. Now if you get to the end and your stitch count was off and you have an extra stitch here, just half double crochet in it. Chain 1 and turn. It doesn't matter if you decrease that or not. Now see how this is going to give it the ripple effect that is at the top of the towel. See, like this. Because you're pulling all your stitches together. So it's going to start to do this. So that's what we're getting here. We're going to do the next row exactly the same. 2 half double crochets together all the way across. And we want to do this till we have a strip of stitches that is approximately an inch, inch and a half, depending on how wide you want your strap to be. I like to keep it at like 5 or 6 inches. No, not inches. 5 or 6 stitches. So we do this, we decrease it until we have 5 or 6 stitches across the top. Just half double crochet and 2 together all the way across.
Oh my god.
Chain 1 and turn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have about 9 stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this last row of half double crochets 2 together all the way across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this, believe it or not, is a stitch, people. So we're going to put a half double crochet in there, and that gives us 5 half double crochets across the top of the row. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to just do half double crochets back and forth to create the strap. Just back and forth. So we're going to do 5 half double crochets. Crocheting a little bit tighter now, and this yarn tends to get a little splitty. Chain 1, turn. You know, we're starting our strap, so you should have 5 half double crochets back and forth over and over again. And how long you make your strap is going to be dependent on where you're going to hang this towel at. You want to measure the width around of your towel bar or your fridge handle or your stove handle or wherever you're going to hang this at. I like to make my straps, this is about the length of my hand, but the way that I measure it is I know that my towel bar is about 3 fingers thick for me, and so I put my 3 fingers together. Sometimes I put my 4 fingers together. I just want this strap to be long enough to wrap around those fingers and make sure that the buttonhole is somewhere around here. This is where we're going to put our button. This is where we're going to put our hole. So we want it about the length of my hand or your hand, or just keep doing half double crochets to create that strap. Just make sure you keep it at whatever number, if this is 5 or if this is 6 stitches or whatever your number is. Just make sure it's 5 every row or 6 every row. Chain 1 and turn. These hand towels are like my favorite because I feel like I hate buying hand towels and putting them in the bathroom or the kitchen and then they get destroyed because somebody wipes up something greasy, or like the other day I spilled an entire carton of eggs out of the refrigerator and they went all over the floor. Now, paper towel works the best to clean that up because, you know, you're not staining your towels. And for some reason, when I have handmade towels in the kitchen and the bathrooms, they don't get abused as badly as like a store-bought towel. So that's kind of why I prefer these. Let's be real. I have noticed, though, the difference between my hand towels that are made with 100% cotton versus the Premier Home cotton, which is, I think it's 15% polyester. Yeah, it's 85% cotton, 15% polyester. That polyester makes a difference. It really does, because my full cotton, like this one is full cotton. This will not last as long as the one with polyester in it, because from wiping my hands on it so much, it's starting to like pill and like the cotton is starting to come apart. And so really the full cotton ones don't last me as long as the ones that have the polyester in it. So if you can find yarn that is a polyester cotton blend for hand towels, I actually prefer that than the 100% cotton. They just last longer to me for the wear and tear. Because for me, with my skin condition, I cannot use hand sanitizer. So I use the bathroom sink way more than anyone else in the house does, because they're able to use hand sanitizer when we go out and about. I can't use it because of my skin. So I wash my hands a lot and then apply lotion. So my hand towels in my bathroom specifically get just used and abused. And I noticed the one that's in there is full cotton, and it is starting to just shred. And it hasn't. I've washed it one time. It's been in the bathroom maybe a total of a month between washings and hanging it back up. So that's just an observation I have personally made. I prefer Premier Home Cotton.
I didn't open that many. I thought there was just one open.
All right. Like I said, little man is here doing work.
So what was the thing again?
Chain one and turn. I think Daddy's home. Chain one and turn. Maybe.
It's running so fast now. Did I have to turn the sign out and log back in?
No, I don't want you to sign out and log back in. So when we get our strap, we think it's long enough to cover our fingers. That's our 3 fingers. That should be long enough. This isn't a full towel. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to frog this and actually make the whole towel. So this is where we are going to do our buttonhole. So we are going to do 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches. And we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and put 2 more half double crochets there. And this should give you a decent sized buttonhole for a smallish button. If you need a bigger button, you can change this to double crochets and make the hole taller, and you should be able to fit a bigger button in there. So 2 double crochets, a chain 1, skip 1, 2 double crochets. But I'm just doing half double because I'm just doing a small button when I do this. And that's what I did here. And then for the next row, we're going to give it slightly a rounded effect. So we are going to do the next 2 stitches, 2 half doubles together. And then we're going to put a half double in this stitch. And then the next 2 stitches, we're going to do a decrease again of 2 half doubles together. Okay. And then you can just cut the yarn, tie it off, and you have a towel. You can also, if you want, do a row of single crochets all the way around to give it a nice edging if you want. And once again, if you do the single crochets across all the way around this one, it will also help the bottom to not want to pull. But that is how you make the Chevron hand towel very easily. And then you just, when you sew the button on, you sew the button somewhere right here where the stitches are tighter. See, I would probably put the button right here because the stitches are tighter here. There's more of a grouping there. So I would sew the button here, and then the buttonhole lines up there. We still have our 3 fingers worth to get it around our towel bar. You just want to make sure, and if you need a bigger space, just bring the button down further, and this will open this up drastically if you need this to be bigger. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Bonus washcloth, Chevron washcloth. I actually really like the Chevron washcloth. I'm probably going to make some more of these. And matching hand towel for your bathroom, your kitchen, for a gift for someone. Just let me know. And as always, if you make this, please tag me, show me, put it in the Facebook group, put it in the Instagram, wherever you can reach me at. You can even email me the pictures. I just love seeing what you guys made from my projects. And I hope you enjoy this. And for Miss Texano, who requested this tutorial, hi, and I hope you enjoy this. And I want to see when you finish yours. So, all right, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.